Welcome to the NGConnects Podcast, where National Gypsum team members and industry leaders share insights and advice to solve construction and design challenges. We obsess over the details to help you build better. Hi, I'm Chris Whitmire with National Gypsum Company, and in this episode, I talk with Eddie Neel and Tony Fuller about waterproof cement board uses. Eddie Neel is a 36-year veteran of National Gypsum, has served the past 20 years as the market manager for PermaBASE. Tony Fuller has been with National Gypsum for 19 years and is the Director of Technical and Product Development for PermaBASE. Today we're talking about the challenges of waterproofing wet areas inside homes and buildings and the role waterproof cement boards can play when the homeowner or builder wants a waterproof solution. Tony, Eddie, welcome to the show. Glad you are here. So let's just start there. What is PermaBASE?
PermaBASE is a cementitious cement backer board. All right, 2 layers of mesh, Portland cement in the core. Primarily uses are in wet areas and as a substrate for ceramic tile. However, over the past few years, we have expanded its reach to go into the exterior sides. We're seeing a lot of PermaBASE used outside for thin brick, stone, stucco applications. Thin tile is another popular option out there today.
So before we get into PermaBASE WP, let's maybe touch on the PermaBASE portfolio of products. I know there's a lot of different products that are within the family of PermaBASE. Let's maybe touch on each of those products and maybe some of the uses where we would find those products.
Okay. I mean, it's something that we're really proud of. You know, we feel like we have the broadest portfolio of products in the backerboard industry today as far as our manufacturing is concerned. And it all starts with regular PermaBASE, all right? And it comes in, a 1/2 inch and a 5/8 thickness. 3x5 and 4x8 are standard sizes out there. And those products can be used interior and exterior, and they meet ASTM 1325, which is a very stringent test for backerboard performance. So that's our baseline. Okay. On top of that, we have a 1/4 inch product called Ultra Backer that, works very well for floors and countertops. Expand that a little bit more. We have a 1/2 inch foam tile backer for those guys that want a super lightweight product. We have it for you. All right. We also have the PermaBASE CI that we've talked about in the past. And our latest addition is our 1/2 inch PermaBASE WP. And that's a product we're going to talk about today.
So let's maybe just get into what PermaBASE WP is. How is it different than regular PermaBASE, and what makes this kind of a specialty PermaBASE board?
So within the remodeling and new construction market, there's a desire out there for contractors and homeowners to add additional waterproofing in wet areas. And by wet areas, we're talking about areas that see increased amounts of moisture. So think about bathtubs, showers, steam rooms, saunas, those type of places where you see a lot more moisture. As part of that desire, there are solutions out there in the marketplace, whether they're sheet-applied membranes or fluid-applied membranes that are being installed over tile and stone substrates like PermaBASE to kind of create that increased protection. With PermaBASE having a waterproof core, now we've basically just have to treat those joints and spot those fasteners, then you have a waterproof installation. So that's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of waterproofing materials, potentially up to 75% of the waterproofing materials to create that same impact.
Well, I think what's driving waterproof craze is, just a small amount of moisture can create a lot of problems. Okay. Whether it's in your bathrooms, in your showers, and in your kitchens. But the highest amount of water is obviously in your shower areas. And that's the area that requires it's the most maintenance and the highest performing products out there.
In addition to what Eddie had just mentioned, another benefit of doing waterproof installations is they also help the customer understand what's going on, because any of that moisture that gets into the wall system can lead to failures. And that's really a common occurrence in any wet area today. Is people don't really understand that they need to maintain their caulk and maintain their grout, to help protect that tile installation. So that leads to a lot of repairs and a lot of potentially some bad situations that need to be replaced. So waterproof products like this can help, increase the longevity of that installation or that remodel.
Okay, so you still have to treat the joints, spot the fastener heads with PermaBASE WP. So nothing changes there. But how about from a code standpoint? Is a waterproofing membrane required by code, or is that more of a preference with either the building owner or the contractor? Just maybe they want just some added protection on the substrate itself, or is that an actual code requirement?
Waterproofing in a shower or wet area is not code required. It's a benefit perceived by the owner or the user in terms of adding that extra layer of protection against the likelihood or potential possibility of water infiltration or penetration into the wall. So it's not required, but it is kind of a nice feature benefit for the homeowner.
You talked a little bit about just the absorption. How is that tested? Is there an ASTM that needs to be met from a testing standpoint when you get into this PermaBASE WP? How does that work?
So there's actually an ANSI standard, and that's A118.10. That is a waterproofness testing that all waterproofing membranes or waterproofing solutions have to pass. We subjected PermaBASE WP to that same test, and we're maybe able to pass that test. What that test entails is a 2-foot column of water on top of your waterproofing solution. In this case, it would be the surface of cement board that's creating pressure to try to drive water through that substrate. And as part of that test requirement is you cannot have any water penetration for 48 hours through that membrane to demonstrate that product is going to be waterproof.
And that test, that's just specific to the waterproofing. That's not just for regular PermaBASE. Yeah. That's for this PermaBASE WP product, correct?
Correct.
But it's the same test that everybody that has a waterproof product, they have to pass this test in order for it to to be classified as waterproof. Okay. Before you can label anything waterproof, it has to pass the ANSI test.
Okay. Let's look at a couple different things here. So from a competitive standpoint, are there other WP products out there that are already incorporated into the cement backer board or the backer board in general? Are there competitive products out there outside of, a substrate and then actually applying the waterproofing membrane? Or is there, there are competitors out there that have a different or similar product to PermaBASE WP?
Yes, there are competitive substrate boards, that do pass that waterproofness testing. But what we'll find with PermaBASE WP is we are the most cost-effective waterproof solution on the marketplace.
Okay. So if I'm a contractor, what are the benefits?
There's a number of benefits, okay? For those individuals that desire and require a waterproof installation, all right, we feel like that PermaBASE WP gives you the best of both worlds, okay? You've got a time-proven product in PermaBASE that's been around for, many years. It has the best tile bond. It has your best chance of success in a wet environment. Add in the fact that we now have a waterproof product, all right? You're going to save time by the install of the product because you're going to install it, and then instead of coating the entire surface of the product to make it waterproof for that installation, now all you have to do is spot the fasteners and the joints, all right? So you're going to use, I think Tony's figured this out, about 75% less fluid applied membrane, which is the traditional method of creating a waterproof shower install.
Well, the waterproofing membrane, at least in my experience, that stuff's not cheap. That's expensive, right? I mean, I know there's different products out there, but holistically, I mean, the waterproofing membrane products that are out there, that's not cheap. Yeah. And then you gotta get whatever you're using to apply it. That can get expensive.
And that's where we see the biggest cost savings is the fact that you no longer have to do that over the entire surface of the product. So, you add that over multiple shower installs over the course of a year, and the money starts to add up.
Absolutely. Maybe get into some of the manufacturing parts of this. What happens in the manufacturing process that enables the PermaBASE product to actually become PermaBASE WP?
So PermaBASE WP starts with our lightweight PermaBASE recipe, but by adding additives to the core during the manufacturing process, we were able to create a product, that has that waterproofing capability kind of built into it to the production. So there are no additional coatings, no extra treatments after the fact. It's actually integral to the core of PermaBASE WP that's going to make it waterproof.
Okay. So when we start talking about waterproof, one first thing that comes to my mind is mold resistance. Mold. How does PermaBASE WP stack up against fighting mold?
So PermaBASE WP, again, because it's Portland cement based, is going to be naturally mold resistant due to the alkalinity in the materials that are used to create it. So it's naturally going to pass all the stringent mold resistant tests. We score the highest possible scores in terms of mold resistance with WP, the same as we do with our regular PermaBASE products.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about product warranty. Is there a warranty that comes with PermaBASE WP?
PermaBASE is going to come with our standard, lifetime limited interior warranty. So it's the same across all of our PermaBASE products. We're very proud of the products we make and very, proud to provide the best warranty in the industry.
How about accessibility? If I'm a contractor in the Northeast, where do I go to get PermaBASE WP?
Wherever they're buying their backer board today, okay, and especially if their dealer is buying PermaBASE today, they have access to PermaBASE WP. All right. And one of the best thing about PermaBASE WP is we make it at the same manufacturing facilities where we make regular PermaBASE.
That's nice.
So if you want one pallet on a truck, just throw up extra pallet on there. Okay. Not everybody needs, a full truckload of it, but they may need 3 or 4 pallets as they go into their shower installs. So
that's good to know.
The ability to add 1 or 2 pallets on the same truck where you can get your PermaBASE 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 5/8, your PermaBASE CI, as we talked about earlier, and or your PermaBASE WP. You can put it all on the same truck.
Tony, you had mentioned something earlier. This is one of the things that I think is really great about PermaBASE. You talked about scoring, and it just kind of jogged my mind. One of the things we always talk about with PermaBASE is how easy it is to score and snap. There's no special tools that you need for PermaBASE. I'm assuming that also applies for PermaBASE WP. You don't need any special tools or devices to cut this stuff.
Yeah, the same tools you're using to cut regular PermaBASE, you can use to cut PermaBASE WP. It's easy enough to score with a standard utility knife that you're going to score your drywall or any of your other building materials with. No special tools required. Very clean, very simple cut. One of the also benefits of WP is we do have we call a veil on the surface of it to smooth that surface, which actually then also makes it easier to cut.
So what are some of the PermaBASE resources that are available to our audience members?
The best thing is to visit our PermaBASE website. On that website, there's a whole resources section where you're able to see videos of both PermaBASE WP as well as our other products used both interior and exterior. You'll see product literature. You'll see installation instructions. So if you want to, revisit any of the things we talked about today, all that's available to you. We also have 800 National, where if you've got a question, you would like to talk to somebody, you can definitely reach out to them. So there's a lot of resources.
Yeah, 1-800 National team. That's a fantastic team. Well, Eddie, Tony, I think this is a great place to wrap up. I want to thank you for your time. I know how busy you both are. Appreciate you coming in, sharing a little bit more about PermaBASE and talking specifically about PermaBASE WP. Looking forward to getting some feedback from you both on once we get this product really going out in the market from contractors and our dealer partners out there. So again, thank you for your time today. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate the opportunity.
You bet. All the resources we've mentioned today will be added to the show notes. All our podcasts can be found on your favorite platform or by visiting nationalgypsum.com/podcasts. If you have any questions or an idea for a topic, email us at podcast@nationalgypsum.com. National Gypsum Company is the exclusive service provider of reliable, high-performance building products manufactured by its affiliate companies and marketed under the Gold Bond, Proform, and PermaBASE brands. The National Gypsum name has been synonymous with high-quality, innovative products and exceptional customer service since 1925. The information provided in this podcast is for general information purposes only. For specific building or design questions, please consult with the 1-800-NATIONAL Construction Services team or your regional National Gypsum Construction Design Manager. Always use products in accordance to the manufacturer's recommendations.